Hello traders, so welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 195. Iliya here tuning in. As always, you know what we're going to be doing in this video. We're going to have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what kind of opportunities we had, and most importantly, what we can expect for the upcoming week. This week was pretty nice. We had some amazingly trending markets, and overall macro forecast is kind of playing out. We're having an overall bullish dollar and we're having an overall bearish everything else, like especially dollar pairs. Personally, I did not trade much this week because I was finishing up my graduation thesis, which is right now ready. Next week, I'm going to be moving countries. So we've been busy with luggage, with packing, with sending pallets of stuff as well. So next week, I'm also not going to be trading because it's going to be very chaotic. So yeah, May for me has been extremely busy. But again, I'm going to be back full time in June, which is going to be absolutely amazing. So without further ado, of course, if you are new to this channel, it's all about trading. I share this weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and once per week, I'm going to be giving my best to absolutely publish one educational video per week, and of course, a trading setups breakdown. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on the notification bell in order not to miss when a video comes out. And if you already did, let's head into the analysis. All right, as always, we're gonna get started with a Dixie. This week we had a very nice bullish week. We had a couple of news as well, and especially on Friday we had a speech from the Fed, Mr. Powell as well, and we had like the discussions between the Republicans for the debt levels. And I read somewhere that the representatives actually left the room, which was rather strange, and that they're gonna resume their speeches in the upcoming weeks, which is absolutely strange. But again, debt is at all-time highs, so I'm very curious to see how this one is gonna play out. But of course, in terms of economic calendars, as traders, we just have to be aware, okay, what is gonna happen during this day? When do I trade and when do I not trade? So Monday and Tuesday look pretty quiet. Nothing too much very important. Then we have on Wednesday, this is NZD. We don't care much about NZD, but if you're trading the NZD, well, we have interest rate and press conference, so be careful. CPI for the pound on Wednesday, so if you're trading the pound, very, very, very important. And FOMC minutes, also very, very important, right? Thursday, we have GDP for the US, and then Friday, it's pretty good. Durable goods orders. This is nice, but it's not very, very volatile. So we have an interesting week ahead, right? Nothing very, very, very huge, yet we still have a little bit of things to give us some volume. So jumping onto the charts, well, as we expected last week, like we had this very nice bullish candle right there, and we thought, well, of course, it makes sense for the next candle to go bullish because, again, following with this massive bullish momentum, of course, we tend to have a little bit of a pullback. Like, look here, we had a very nice bullish candle, and we actually had 1, 2, 3 weeks of a nice push into the highs, right? So currently, again, if you remember, I started to think a lot in terms of like macro liquidity. So you can see here, this is an overall kind of a monthly leg, right? So if I just catch it from the bottom to the top, we pulled back below 50%, and just below 50%, we had this low, which was swept right there. And you can see we had a very nice reaction. All right. So we're pulling back at a very kind of macro equilibrium level. Then we came in and we actually also took out this little low right there by a little bit, which again, according to me, also these little wicks are also breaks of structure. But again, right now we have initiated a pullback after this liquidity grab. So we kind of got 3 weeks of nothing. Right. Then last week we actually had a very nice push, and this week through a little bit of a continuation, taking the market above the 50% on the weekly. All right. So right now the question is, okay, are we going to continue to persist into the highs, right? Or are we going to make a lower high and drop? All right. So with the macro timeframes, it's more also dependent on the economy, right? On Wednesday, when Powell comes out and says something, well, of course, it can definitely change the tone of the market. So be careful with that. But currently, we are still bearish on the weekly, but we're going to be seeking some sort of liquidity to the upside. So again, like first liquidity point, of course, 50%. Then, of course, you have imbalances. Then you have like the highs. All right. But personally, this is my supply level. So let's see if it's going to come in all the way there. So if you remember also, we had this as our major daily lower high. Right, we spend a lot of times trying to react from this supply, try it again, then it just came in, reacted and broke. So we had 3 massive consecutive bullish days, right? The daily aligned right there. And then of course you have to ask the question, okay, what did actually cause the daily break? Well, you can either say that it's this one, or of course it could be all the way down there, depending on how you look at structure. Okay, personally, I don't have rules for the daily. So pretty much I don't look at daily higher lows and lower highs. The daily is just for me like liquidity areas and where are we in terms of the daily and what is the major structure, right? So for me at that time, this supply zone was very important because we were reacting from it for quite some time. But again, the more times the market taps into a zone, right, and the more times it actually fails to break a zone, then of course I immediately knew that this high will be taken. So there it is, got taken this week. Right now daily turns bullish, and hourly has also been pretty bullish. We pushed up, pull back, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So where are we currently? Well, again, in terms of the 40 time frame, that is our range, that is our major higher low formation, that is our demand zone right there. The market already pulled back below 50%. It's already tapping into the demand zone, right? So if this was a normal day, I will be dropping to the 15-minute time frame and looking for a nice bullish alignment so I can take a long. Currently, we're trading between this 15-minute high and this 15-minute low, right? So what I would love to see is for us to make a new lower low, then to get an alignment, and then to potentially start pushing up. This is the bearish scenario, sorry, the bullish scenario, right? Because I'm expecting still longs. But again, just keeping in mind in terms of the weekly, once again, we're above 50%, we've taken liquidity, right? So we can also start expecting for the market to roll down. So let's see, as I keep saying, as always, flow with the market, but this is currently what we have on the Forex. So if I, as usual, ignore like weekly, daily, and all of that stuff and just focus on the Forex, we're having a beautiful bullish market. So again, from this demand zone, as long as we remain above this demand zone, I'm going to be bullish. So with that said, with a bullish bias on the Dixie, let's have a look at all the other pairs and how they're looking like. Euro USD pretty much inversed DXY. Right, we have a very nice bearish engulfing candle last week, and this week we are throwing a continuation. The continuation is not as strong, right? Like look at the previous week and look at this week, not as strong, but still we had a very nice bearish market this week. I really hope a lot of you guys managed to capitalize on some shorts. Personally, I only traded on Monday and Tuesday, right? And I also shared my trades on the Tuesday outlook. And I'm sitting at a little loss for the week. And then again, as I told you, just focus on my thesis, getting it done because my deadline was this week. With that out of the way, next week again, I'm going to be moving country. So not going to be trading for a while, which sucks. But again, going to be back. So on the weekly time frame, you know that we are in an overall bullish market, right? Since we aligned here, broke up, broke up, broke up. And right now we are bullish. And this is our range from this low to this high. And again, this week we just pulled back below 50%. And again, similar to the Dixie, right now the big question is, are we going to be tapping into demand and continuing to push up, or are we going to be reversing down? Again, we don't know at this time. Daily time frame, also, as I told you, like the daily time frame reversed. Where did it reverse? Looks like it was here. On that day right there, Thursday, 11th of May, this is where we actually broke out on the daily. And then if you guys remember what I told you in the previous outlook, again, go check it out. I called like two levels. The first one was this, right, for liquidity. And then the second one was this. Both of them got achieved this week, which makes me pretty sad that I did not capitalize. My team, by the way, managed to catch some shorts. For example, what trades did I take? I took a break even right there, I think, or a small loss, right? And no, I think that was a full loss right there, trying to short it early this week on Monday. Then we took a half risk here, right? And then this I was watching during this day as well, but I was looking for this high to be taken as liquidity, although the market did not, right? Because we had one of my rules right there wasn't really met, and then we just continued to go down. And you can see here, even during New York, you could be catching some great trades this week, but my focus was absolutely absent on the market. But again, targets are fulfilled right now. We have another one right there. So again, we can project that it might push down a little bit, but then according to me, these two massive lows right there, and also dipping below the 50% and taking liquidity below the 50%, that is also pretty powerful. But I could expect for it to go a little bit deeper. Like this one also looks very good, and it's gonna tap us nicely inside the weekly demand, and then from there we maybe could start looking for the longs. So right now, technically this one is not bad. I'm not even gonna count it. Well, we're trading within this range right there. We have an overall level of supply. This one is a very big level that I'm drawing, but I'm drawing potentially like an 8-hourly zone. It doesn't look great. Yeah, it's always this candle. So you can see I don't want to make this right now, because I don't do this, right? This is way too refined, right? I just don't like it. I usually take a bigger zone and then I work my way around on the lower time frame. So right now we've tapped into the zone. We are above 50%, right? So on Monday, it's key to see, all right, what's going to happen? Are we going to hold from this zone? Are we going to start trading away from it and taking some shorts on the 15-minute? Or are we maybe going to seek liquidity into the highs? So right now, we have a very nice downtrend on the Forex. A lot of liquidity starting to get taken, right? So usually what the market does, it starts to seek the other side as well. So very possible we might have a trend change up, then maybe a trend change down, and then for it to attack the low. So again, macro bias is very hard to predict, but I feel I've been working hard on this, like in terms of daily liquidity, in terms of hourly liquidity, because it's very important to know, okay, where will potentially the market go and what is a potential reversal point, so that you know, okay, until this level, so for example, these two lines, until these two lines get taken, I'm going to keep shorting and my focus is going to be on shorts. But right now, as those targets are fulfilled, of course, we got to let the market show us, okay, what is the next move? And then, of course, we can predict, because if we have like a 4-hourly trend change, then that means that the weekly is going to start rolling. And then, of course, we're going to start marking out levels like this that we can start targeting. Okay. But this is more kind of advanced liquidity stuff. So right now, this is how I look into it. On Monday, I would love to see the market pull back right there, try to accumulate, show me what it wants to do. And of course, I'm looking for one more short. If provided, that's going to be great. So that is your USD looking perfectly bearish. Let's see how this supply zone is holding up. And yeah, of course, make sure to flow with the markets and don't marry your bias. You will be seeing right now that the JPYs are very strong, and this is mainly driven by USD yen, which also exploded very nicely this week. So once again, Euro yen bullish on the week. We have a massive push. We have a very nice pullback. 2 candles of pullback. It of course did not make it to the 50%, right? But of course that is enough, because you can see also when you think in terms of liquidity, there was that little daily low right there, and usually the market tends to go and sweep those and then, for example, reverse. And then what you have is, for example, a trend change right there. And then, of course, this becomes your major lower high and you think you're going to short, but then no, the market actually goes on and attacks this one. So again, in a bullish market, in a bullish weekly market, for example, the daily or the 4-hourly time frame are going to sweep some liquidity and then, of course, continue with the macro time frame, which is the weekly. So again, saying that it's bullish, for example, right now, this is our daily demand zone, let's say, because this is then right now a daily bullish alignment. And then dropping onto the Forex. Well, yeah, the Forex, here it got a breakdown, then here we had a trend change to the upside. So after this right there, you could start looking for longs, right? So could you have taken any longs? I don't know, right? So this is actually this is this week. Just on Monday we actually broke up and then we started making higher lows and maybe a long right there, right? Then it just pushed up, pull back, push up. Then here you can see we also swept this low, then we pushed up the high. So yeah, currently just looking at it right now, give it some time. Okay, the daily is at a hard high right now, and the 4-hourly time frame is starting to do some crazy stuff, right? So it like takes out the low, then takes out the high. Yeah, so technically like the last break is bearish, but you don't want to be working with this because this is just manipulation on Friday. So give EJ some time, but of course be mindful, okay, where could the market potentially go next? The weekly is bullish. We have taken daily liquidity. We have aligned bullish on the daily. So could it be that we might be headed for a new hard high right there? Possibly, right? Possibly. But first of all, we can expect like a little bit of a pullback. So if I have like 1 or 2 days of a pullback, and then of course we can start expecting the bullishness, that is going to be really nice. But this also depends on UJ, which we're going to be checking a little bit later. So that's EJ. Currently, my advice is stay away from it, wait for cleaner structure. And if you get a very nice kind of confirmation of downside on the 15-minute maybe, or even if the 4-hourly time frame commits with another structure break, you can take like 1 or 2 shorts, targeting like these little flat lows right there. And then as we take out these lows, right, as we tap inside this zone right there, then of course you can start looking for the longs. So let's see how this outlook plays out. Let's have a look at the Aussie. So just looking at the weekly candle, another choppy week on the Aussie. I don't know what the Aussie is waiting for. Like next week we have NZ interest rates, we have retail sales for the Aussie. But it has been like since here, right? It has been 63 days or like 2 months of consolidation. Like it's cooking for something, it's just directionless, like on the weekly time frame. And if the weekly is directionless, then of course we're gonna have daily and 4-hourly consolidation. So Nothing much to say about this one, so I'm immediately gonna transfer like to the daily. Maybe the daily offers it, but yeah, again, then I just drop on the daily, and like you can see again, take out the high, take out the low, take out the high. Can we expect for it to take out the low? Well, we're gonna see this, but currently, right, it's too bullish, because again, this according to me could be a break. The market taps in, tries to react, it fails, then comes in deeper into the zone, and right now it's trying to react again. So it's still holding from this demand zone right there, but just knowing what the market is currently doing, it is very likely we come in and sweep the low. But again, let's just be open-minded. On the hourly time frame, yeah, you can see it's exact same thing. So we tapped inside the zone, and actually on Monday we came in and we made a hourly break of structure, actually a trend change. And then I say, well, of course, yeah, we can look for longs right there, but the market just comes in, kind of gives a reaction, takes out the low, then again, so like this, if you trade this by using market structure, you could get a little bit crazy, right? Because it's just sweeping up, sweeping down, sweeping up, sweeping down, and you do not get like, look at this, even again, right there. So it's just complete madness. There are breaks up and breaks down on the daily, and there are breaks up and breaks down on the hourly as well. We had this little period of bullishness, which was great, but exactly right now and exactly this week, absolute madness. You can see it broke up, it broke down, it broke up, it broke down, right there. And right now on Friday, we also kind of broke up. So what's the direction? Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Well, currently, again, just based on my rules, we are bullish. We have taken out this hourly high. We have taken also lots of liquidity, like you can see right there. This was the last one we came in to take out. And yeah, this was pretty much fake. It's a fake trend change, but then we got another one, and then we actually came in to take structural liquidity, and even this one right there. So lots of liquidity is collected on the Aussie. So is it ready to commit up? Well, let's see this week. Okay, currently we pushed up. We're in a little bit of a pullback, and the 50-minute is absolutely crazy right there on Friday. So again, I will be looking maybe for couple of more hourly candles down, and then of course see whether from here we're gonna have like a bullish alignment and some bullish vibe to be taking longs. If not, then of course just flow with the market and be careful with the Aussie. I've been telling you about the Aussie. It's not good to be trading right now, especially like in this daily and weekly consolidation. So pick another pair or just accept your losses, or of course like yeah, just usually if you just flow with the 50-minute, you are gonna get a setup. I mean, like if I just point out one, for example, like here we had a bearish Asian range, supply respected, right? Then we pull back. Well, yeah, then here you can see we kind of took it out by a little bit, which creates a new lower high, right? What's the lower low? What's the lower high? It's this, came in, and then it gave you a short. So if you trade intraday on the 50-minute, you are gonna get setups, right? But usually you would like to be trading with clear hourly direction. So currently Aussie dollar sucks. AJ. So yeah, on AJ, as I told you, like hourly broke up, hourly demand, we tapped in, and what we did is we went on and we took out the week high. So beautiful. Again, you can see the hourly time frame is usually right. It's usually working great. So right now we went on and we made a new hourly structure break. I actually still have my analysis in there. Yeah, so weekly time frame bearish, tapping inside this weekly supply. This week was actually super bullish. That is based on USD, the bullishness of USDN. Daily time frame, you know, we're trading from this daily low to this daily high, right? And the daily high right now is here, which is something that we could be targeting right now. And then just jumping on the FOH, this is where we actually aligned bullish on the FOH. Like this week, you could have taken some like internal 15-minute structures right there. Definitely could have worked out. So right now we broke structure exactly right there. What caused the break? Well, it's this low right there. Oops. It's this low right here. This is our current hourly range. Can we take a demand zone? Well, yeah, I'm gonna take this big bullish candle. So yeah, currently AJ is bullish. We already tapped in very nicely into demand zone. We probably, ooh, this one is a very sketchy tap. So when we have a massive tap like this, I would just love to see a new lower low. And then, for example, for us to have a new 15-minute alignment. It's much easier because right now, in order for us to have a bullish alignment, we have to break above this level, which is usually not very nice. So let's see, right? AJ looking absolutely bullish right now. Hopefully if AJ goes, maybe AU will follow up. Let's see, right? But overall, yes, Aussie dollar bullish on FOH, AJ bullish on FOH. We have a very nice daily target right there because that is a week daily high. Hopefully we can take this one. So bullishness, let's see if it actually provides. Looking at NZD/USD, it kind of reminds me of the Aussie, right? We're having just a very massive weekly consolidation. But again, keep in mind, next week we're having interest rate statement, press conference, retail sales, right, for the NZD. So that is definitely going to give us a little bit of a shakeout. So bullish week, also inside bar. So we can expect a breakout next week. Of course, with interest rates, we should have a breakout. Daily time frame, well, daily is bullish currently, and where is our last break? Wow, broke up, broke down. Yeah, it's either here or it could be here as well, or it even could be there. Everything got broken, so we're having this overall daily bullish leg. Like this, we came in very aggressively inside, and pretty much you can see this week we kind of Monday reacted, then 3 days of chop, then Friday gave a little bit of bullishness, so not much of an activity on the NZD. And as you can see, this one right now, it's still trading in this big bearish range on the Forex, so not ideal. So this pair is just not ideal right now because it's bullish on the daily, taking us below the 50%, while the 4-hourly range is from this high to this low. Like this is all internal right now. You can't do like really broke up, it broke down, then it broke up, because it's all internal. We are trading between this high and this low right now on the Forex. So what I would love to see is for us to take out the low, and then of course if it takes out the low, then you can look for a new trend change alignment, right? Or just let it go, or of course you can trade internally. But again, I am not going to be throwing any forecast on this one because we have interest rates and we just don't know what's going to happen. Again, it can pump up, it can pump down, it can do many things. So again, NU, look for another pair. It's not great, but as I always keep saying, like you can jump in on the 15-minute like an intraday time frame and you can catch some trades, but usually they're not going to be high probability when all the time frames are like choppy. So that is NU. I don't like it. Wait for interest rate, and then of course we're going to see what happens. Well, yeah, of course, NJ is going to be very bullish because that's the current vibe of the JPYs. This one, what did it do? So, yeah, it broke down, and technically here we have a break up, gave a little pullback, and right now it's just massively expanding higher. Okay, daily time frame bullish. Yeah, you can see here, for example, on the daily, very nice example, pushed up, high, pullback on the daily, higher low, Monday open, and then on this one we had 5 consecutive days of bullishness. So, like in this case, right, this is something that I have to work on or just add to my plan, but again, I just don't need. For example, if I'm trading NZD/USD right now, just imaginary NZD/USD, it's absolute choppy, right? And in this case, you see NZD/JPY, it's just rolling massively. So why would you stay to trade a chop on NU while you can just jump on NJ and take this beautiful continuation, right? So for the time frame, let's check it out. We had a break up here, then we have a break up there, and then we have a break up here. So you can see, yeah, we have quite a couple of those mini breaks, and then there was this Wednesday, just boom, exploded. The last break is exactly right there. This is pretty much our last demand zone, pushed up, currently in the pullback. So yeah, similar to everything else, it's very bullish, but also keep in mind it's at a very massive daily high, right? It's tapping inside like something on the left as well, which I'm not gonna mark because currently I'm just focusing on this current momentum, but I would expect some sort of a pullback, right? Maybe 1 or 2 days of a pullback, right? And then of course, for example, we can start heading into the highs. So let's see how it works out. Also, you can expect a trend change because that is what I usually see, right? We're gonna come in, take out the 4-hourly low, and then of course we're gonna start kind of a line bullish and we're gonna keep rolling up. So keep in mind this low could also be liquidity. So that is NJ. Overall bullish bias, like weekly and daily are bullish, also 4-hourly is bullish. So if we can take a long from here, absolutely beautiful. But then again, just keep in mind the market might need to take some liquidity on the Forex in order to continue its trend on the daily. So keep this in mind. Bullish NZDs. On to the next one. USD/JPY, we have something major happening right there, is that we finally managed to break above this supply zone. So as I told you last week, right, we came in, reacted massively, but then we came in again, kind of reacted again, but then this high, if this high fails to cause a new low, they usually become liquidity. And then as I told you, like if this high gets taken, then most likely the whole supply will get taken, because it doesn't make sense for us to just take out this little high and then massively reverse, All right, and as you can see, this week we actually violated this supply, which again, according to me, technically turns the weekly into a bullish, right? Bullish bias. So let's see if that's gonna prevail, or let's see that if it's just like a liquidity grab, we never know. But then of course, dropping onto the daily time frame, we can see the daily persisted once again. That is our daily demand zone. The market pushed, it came in, consolidated right there for quite some time, and then it was actually on Friday. Friday, yeah, we consolidated last week. Pretty much no. Monday, yeah, here is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then yeah, pretty much this whole week was a chop, and then we just started massively rolling into the upside this week. Okay, so then yeah, just going on to the 4-hourly time frame, it's gonna be exactly the same as all the other JPYs. We have, this is not valid actually according to me. This is the valid break right there, which sucks. Yeah, so we can take this, but also you can definitely take this one. Right, you can see it's kind of reacting right now, but as I keep telling you, on all the JPYs that have like a massive push, they are at a hard high right now. So what do you expect? You expect a potential pullback. So once again, the 4-hourly time frame can shift down a little bit, maybe can give you like a couple of trend changes or structure breaks down, and then of course it can start aligning and pushing up. So currently being at this top right there, it does not make a lot of sense to try hard to long, right? You try hard to long as the market is in a push phase towards that hard high, right? And as soon as it takes it, then of course you have to be mindful that anytime it can start initiating a pullback. So let's see, this is pretty much my outlook right now on the UJ, but of course if the bullish bias just keeps persisting, and if I start getting like very nice 50-minute trend changes from this sort of zones right there, of course be open to also go long. So bullish USDN going forward into this week, but of course be mindful we could be having a pullback. So again, where the pullback will stop, I don't know. If the daily time frame is gonna pull back below 50%, then of course it's gonna be roughly around these kind of areas right there, right? So let's see. That's UJ bullish bias. I personally will need to see 1 or 2 or even 3 days of bearishness pullback before we start initiating higher again. Let's have a look at UCAT. So consolidative week overall, we didn't do much, and then yeah, I just actually kept my analysis because it's exactly the same, right? So we had a daily bullish alignment. The market came all the way back down and actually respected this daily zone. It pushed us up, then it pulled us back down, and right now it's just chopping around the 50%. You can see this week, Monday down, and then we have 4 days of chop. So not much of an activity on UCAT. And again, like if you're also very objective, the 4-hourly range starts from here and it ends right there. So also all of this is internal 4-hourly time frame, internal 4-hourly structure. So next week, did we have something for CAT? No, we actually have a bank holiday on Monday for CAT. So guys, this is my analysis right now. I mean, you can, of course, as I keep telling you, you can go on the 50-minute and you can try to find like some intraday longs, some intraday shorts based on the current market momentum. But in terms of the FOIH, we are bearish right now while we are bullish on the daily, right? So I just don't like this, right? And it could be one of those times that you might be actually forced to trade internal structure. That again, with internal structure, you have like ups and downs because you'll lose the plot of what is actually the major one. And again, as I keep saying, that's the major high, that's the major low, and everything right there is internal. So if the 4-hourly is bearish, if the daily is bullish like this, but again, if you zoom out, well, not really, but yeah, we're in this kind of overall consolidation. You can see like if I just take an overall range, like the 50%, the market is just chopping around. So it's just UCAT. Like some people love it. I personally hate it. I just don't like UCAT. I mean, sometimes it provides sometimes, but then you have like 2 months of no setup, and then you have like maybe 1 week of setups. I don't know. So that's my UCAT view. No setups that I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a clean 4-hourly bias because right now it's just like even making this internal triangle, which is not a good thing. Okay, so give it some time. All right, next on the list are the GBPs. Again, the USD one, it didn't do much. You can see like the overall weekly candle is an indecisive one. Wick on top, wick on bottom, body closed exactly where it opened. Again, in terms of like where are we currently, we just came in to sweep this massive weekly zone right there. We immediately got the reaction, and right now it looks like it wants to kind of initiate a big pullback because once again the weekly range starts from here, it ends right there. So probably we are gonna be needing like maybe 1 or 2 weeks of bearishness in order to pull us back into 50%. I see a lot of flat price exactly right there, which we might see right now transferring onto the daily. Well, yeah, you can see like here. So for example, I would expect something similar to what happened on EU, because also on GU we aligned, actually on Wednesday we aligned bearish. And once you have like this alignment, then you can start expecting like this low to go, of course, like this low. There are quite a couple of, like, you can see how many lows you have stacked right there, right? And all of them are like consecutive. So I guess something is gonna happen that is just gonna just smash through all of these levels, because there is a lot of liquidity sitting in right there. All right. Also the daily, kind of, we have a daily. I'll have to change my colors because everything is red right now. So maybe I make this like this, because that's the major daily high. And then transferring on to the hourly time frame. The hourly time frame is also similar to EU, right? It broke structure down right there. It has a overall supply right here. It's above the 50%, right? So we can immediately start expecting shorts. So dropping on the 50-minute, of course, we have no setup, because right now this is the 50-minute low. That's the 50-minute high. We can look for the market to take out the high, give us an alignment, and then potentially give us a short. So that is pretty much the textbook situation that we could have. So what I'm going to say is that I would expect bearishness on GU. Right, I would expect bearishness. Again, I don't see it how it's gonna play out. Very possible, because we have been kind of down. You can see what GU tends to do. It tends to sweep like a 4-hourly high, and then it just continues. So if you get a sweep above this high, don't get scared, right? Because again, that's GU. We can get a sweep, and then maybe it starts to launch to the downside. So this is why it's very important always to flow with your micro time frame or your minor time frame, which to me is like the 15-minute. Because even if the 4-hourly time frame changes structure up right there, the 15-minute is gonna shift down, and then I'm gonna start taking shorts. Easy, right? But technically, yeah, this week we made a very nice downtrend, so might need a little bit of a sweep and then potentially to go down. So those are my two outcomes. But again, long term, just basing it on where are we in terms of the weekly, where are we in terms of the daily, I would expect for the market to start collecting all of these liquidity points. Let's see, right? Again, I could be absolutely wrong, but of course we're gonna flow with the market, not a problem. GJ definitely bullish, like it came in, took out another weekly high, right? Daily time frame took out the daily high as well. So yeah, right now we have taken out a daily high, and again we have like a very big daily range like this. We have a daily demand zone. So can we start expecting a pullback? Well, of course it does make sense to have a little bit of a pullback, because you can see also the 4-hourly time frame is starting to get a little bit sketchy. They're beautiful long right there, by the way. It just broke structure up, pulls back, and then depends on if whether on the 50-minute you got something. Broke down, maybe like something even on a lower time frame than that. But yeah, so currently, like if you just have a look, the market took out this massive high on the left, which is the daily high. Massive bullish, massive bearish exit, right? So what does that tell you? Oh, a lot of rejection, right? And if you go to an 8-hourly time frame, it's gonna be a wick. Oh, it's not a wick here, maybe 12 hours. Yeah, there is like a nice wick rejection. So again, if the 4-hourly time frame aligns, which currently the alignment is going to be right there, you can take like 1 or 2 shorts, right? Targeting potentially the 50%, or maybe like even these little lows right there. So something that I envision for GJ is going to be something like this. But of course, as I said on UJ as well, the bias for the JPYs is absolutely bullish. So again, if you just get a 15-minute bullish alignment, then don't be afraid to go long. But again, in terms of the macro time frames, we're currently a bit high, so we can expect a little drop, and then for us to potentially continue higher. So those are the GBPs. Gold came very close to all-time highs, but it just stopped right there around 2060, 2068, and printed a very nice bearish candle this week, which also caused a weekly reversal, because we had like a break of structure up there, and right now technically have a weekly trend change down. So this is of course caused by the bullish dollar, right? Bullish dollar, and of course like gold is gonna go down, so we adapt, right? Daily time frame was bullish, like we had this overall kind of a daily, very big daily range, but the market just Monday had a little pullback, and then just Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday just smashed through this daily level, and of course on Friday we get a little bit of a pullback. So currently for us to like adapt and align, of course we can say that this is our daily high. This of course could be also one, because that could be a very nice supply, right? And then we have supply, supply right there. But I would really prefer this guy, the upper one, because then this one, the lower one, can be utilized as liquidity, especially this high. But yes, aligning very bearish. What I always tell you about the first trend change, it does not pull back a lot, right? So on the 4-hourly time frame, where is the trend? Yeah, we had the trend change on the 4-hourly right there, right? And then technically there was a short, right? So if it caught any shorts from right there, beautiful, because the market just massively rolled down. Currently, the 4-hourly range is not the greatest because we have a 4-hourly break structure up right there and start down. And then, of course, this is going to be our 4-hourly break structure up. I would expect for us to align bullish a little bit, then come in a little bit deeper. And then, of course, if we align bearish, that is when I'm going to look for the shorts. So simple analysis on gold. On gold, I focus more like on the higher time frames. And right now, with the weekly and the daily being bearish, what we can start expecting, well, maybe if we drop like to a monthly time frame, like we have like this overall push, so can we maybe have a little bit of a pullback down, right? Then dropping on the day, okay, you can ask, okay, where right now? As we violated this first level, this is the next level to violate, right? And there is another level to violate, right? So we can start expecting like the most recent levels of liquidity that could be attacked. So again, wait for a little bit of a pullback, and then we'll look for a bearish alignment, and then we start shorting it again. I would expect the 4-hourly time frame to turn bullish, at least to break this high, and then from there we look for a bearish alignment and we keep shorting with the overall flow. Could this change? Absolutely. Right, we have FOMC this week, could absolutely change. So again, flow with the market, don't marry a bias and just listen to what it tells you and flow with it. But again, this is my outlook on gold right now. I have a more bearish outlook, and I do believe we could be headed for all of these lows. Of course, if the DXY persists with its bullish strength. Let's have a look at the indices. Starting from US 30, the week wasn't the best. Like you can see, we're having another inside bar, because currently, like you can see this week right there, the first week of May printed very nicely. The next week printed inside it, and then this week printed also inside that big bullish week. So we are due to some sort of a breakout. The daily time frame is, of course, as you know, it's currently bearish. But again, first we took out the high, then we took out the low, right? And you can see right now we pull back, tap into daily supply. We tried to push down, but we failed. So this immediately tells me we are potentially attacking these flat highs right there, right? Like to be more precise, it's going to be this one, right? But they're pretty much equal right there. And then, of course, we tap into that daily supply and we see what is going to happen. Is it going to hold and push down, or is it just going to break up? 4-hourly time frame. 4-hourly time frame, yeah, we had like breakdown. Here we had a little downtrend, which is really good. And then, of course, we came in and we aligned bullish right here. Higher high, higher low, higher high. There's a new higher high right there. Demand level right there. And yes, currently we're bullish. So if you're trading US 30, I mean, even first thing on Monday, you could be looking to go long, right? You could be looking to go long from here. 15-minute looks very, very tough, right? It just chops around right there. So wait for something more, wait for some more liquidity to be grabbed, because you can see here you don't have any structure, it's just pure imbalance. So this means that the market is gonna chop around a little bit before it makes a move. But I'm having an overall bullish outlook on US 30, mainly because I do believe this high will be taken. But of course, this is wrong language. You cannot say this high will be taken, because you just don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, the market can just break below right there and just go short and come in and take out this low. We never know. Okay, but my overall outlook right now is bullish for US 30 from this demand zone. Let's see how it works out, and of course, if something different happens, we flow with it. Nasdaq tech stocks are just going crazy, and something major is happening right there. Is that similar to US 30? We're having a weekly break, right? We're having a massive weekly break. So what does that mean, right? Are we just going to continue pushing up? Are we going to be initiating a pullback? Well, again, we don't know. We don't know, especially like with indices. It's very uncertain. We don't know, right? It's just breaking up massively up. Daily time frame is just massively pumping up. Daily higher low. Yeah, I don't have rules. It depends. Like it could be this, or it could be even this one right there. So daily is just pumping up. Swept massive weekly liquidity. So immediately first thing next week is we can expect like a little bit of a bearish pullback, in my opinion. Okay, probably just looking at Nasdaq, it just massively rallies. I mean, if you trade structure on this one, it's hard because it's just so volatile. You have to be like on a lower time frame, like the 5-minute, and like just trying to capitalize these little pullbacks right there. So I would personally give this one time right now. I mean, this one does looks like I can mark this one as a major. Oh, I just hate this structure right there, but we can mark it like as a potential demand zone. But yeah, so what I'm just gonna say is give this one some time, because it's just massively pumping, taking out massive weekly liquidity, and a lot of things could happen. Okay, I don't have a clean level and zone to long from, so again, I don't trade Nasdaq pretty much, but again, in terms of daily and weekly, I would expect some sort of a pullback. So let's see. SPX tapping inside again. This side is weekly supply, so you can see US 30 has broken above this one quite some time ago. Nasdaq broke above, and S&P is also coming inside. So is it gonna break? Well, usually they all go together, but sometimes there is divergence. One of them fails to do something, which means that, like, for example, this high could be protected for us to drop down. But yeah, like, I mean, we came in, like, if we make a bigger zone like this, we came in, this is on the break, so yeah, that's wrong. But we came in, reacted, came in, reacted, came in again, reacted a little bit. Right now we're taking liquidity again. So what's gonna happen? Well, even if you look on the daily, like right now, I've been expecting this high to be taken for quite a while. It got taken, right? So we had like a little fake trend change right there. You can see on the daily time frame, it was very choppy. Right now we took it out. So right now, again, I'm just gonna flow with the daily time frame, right? And either take a long or wait for an alignment bearish, and then of course try to take a short. So that's S&P. Let's see how it works out. And on the 40 time frame, again, it's just like up and down, very big range this week, since Monday all the way until Thursday when we started pumping, big range. So again, give it some time. Let's see how it's gonna work out right now. Huge week, of course, with FOMC next week as well. So that's that. And crypto, again, I don't look too much at crypto, but very nice bullish weekly buys on Bitcoin. It's pulling us back a little bit right now. I would personally look for a 50%. So we're waiting for a little bit of a deeper pullback in order to maybe buy, like if you wish to scale in around 25 to 24. I think it's a good buying level. Ethereum, not as strong as Bitcoin. And again, just keeping in mind that this has a weekly high and a weekly low right there. So it's just too internal. Can we have one more drop? I hope so, right? But again, I'm not getting involved into crypto right now. So that's kind of want to wrap it up, guys. Again, next week, I'm not going to be trading. I'm going to be away. I'm going to be moving and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to be back in June. I'm going to be traveling on Tuesday as well. So we might not have a flow with the market Tuesday for sure, right? So talk to you guys in June. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Be aware of scammers. I'm not messaging your Telegram. I'm not going to take your money and invest it somewhere. No, right? So be careful with that. With that being said, have a lovely weekend and talk to you next Saturday, hopefully.